in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so. Yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
There's a certain silence that exists only at the summit of the heavyweight division. Not the quiet of absence, but the crushing stillness that follows an impact so decisive it drains the air from an entire arena. For 5 rounds, the world watched a social media phenomenon try to outmaneuver a giant. Then came the 6th. The giant advanced. When Anthony Joshua's right hand finally landed, it wasn't merely a punch, it was a ruthless correction. As the referee's count rang out, the confidence that built a global brand gave way to urgent medical concern.
My mom wanted me not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm alone in the hospital. Got to eat liquid now. Anthony Joshua be ready for a round.
The image of Jake Paul lying face down on the canvas is already burned into boxing memory. Yet what unfolded afterward is what truly unsettled the sport. While the crowd erupted in celebration for Joshua, a far more serious scene developed in Paul's corner. There were no smiles, no talk of effort or courage. Trainers urgently checked his condition, and the medical staff moved with visible alarm. In seconds, the event shifted from spectacle to emergency. Joshua remained composed at center ring, a stark reminder that while boxing may be business for some, it remains unforgiving combat at its core.
Congratulations on your win tonight in Miami. How are you feeling right now?
Calm, chilled, good to get the win, but there's a lot I could have done better. So a bit of mixed emotion.
Like what?
Could have done a lot better, cut the ring off, maybe done what I done in the 6th, in the 3rd, and even in the 1st. But a win's a win, and that's why we're here talking now.
You talked about having the weight of the boxing world on your shoulders, and like the purists, right?
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that type of pressure when the media is so fickle? 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. Do you feel that even though you won tonight, they're still not going to be pleased?
So with the media, how I operate the media is you got negative and you got positive. So I do honestly focus on the positive. I don't really focus on the negative. And secondly, I just understand that while I'm in the hot seat, so let's say there's a seat, and right now I'm elevated to that hot seat, I gotta take all the shit that comes with being in that hot seat, and then once I move on from that hot seat, no one's gonna care about me anyway. So I just gotta.
That's not true.
It's true, it's how it goes. It's how it goes, so I know how it works. I understand the cycle. I'm currently in that motion. I'm dealing with some shit at the minute, but it won't last forever. Have some tough skin, and then in a couple of years, I'll be sitting back watching someone else deal with that shit. Come on, Cam, have some tough skin, you'll be alright.
Well, thank you so much
Good
for your
to
time.
see you, Michelle.
Great to see you too.
Fight fans, God bless.
Backstage, the atmosphere turned from disbelief to genuine concern. Whispers spread rapidly. Talk of a career-altering injury, catastrophic jaw damage, and immediate hospital transport filled the room. Joshua, typically measured and respectful, was blunt in his post-fight words. He explained that once inside the ring, his instinct is to finish with maximum force. This wasn't symbolic. It was literal. He didn't simply outpoint an opponent. He inflicted damage that sent Jake Paul to a hospital before the press conference had even begun.
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA, and I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is 4 to 6 weeks.
The full scope of the injury emerged hours later, and it was sobering. A double fracture, not a minor crack or superficial break, but a complete compromise of the jaw's structure. When the X-ray surfaced online, the reaction was immediate and intense. The displacement made one reality undeniable. This was no longer entertainment. This was the physical price of attempting to leap from influencer status to elite heavyweight competition. Paul's bravado persisted with bold claims about returning quickly, but the medical truth pointed toward a painful recovery, potentially involving months of restricted movement and rehabilitation.
According to Jake Paul, he stated he had to do surgeries. He broke his jaw on 2 different locations on both sides. He lost many teeth that he has to replace, or he replaced already. And after that, Jake called out Canelo. But he need to focus on Gervonta for real, because Canelo gonna do him dirty. With that being said, Jake said, quote, "Just got out of surgery. Everything went smooth. Thanks for all the love. A lot of pain and stiffness. Gotta eat liquid for 7 days, even on Christmas. So, to the amazing team of Miami University Hospital, everyone was so gracious and caring. Double broken jaw. Give me Canelo in 10 days. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. Okay, now that's a smart thing to do because he did fight a super heavyweight in AJ. But I don't think it's going to be any sweeter at cruiserweight, but we'll see.
That reality brings forward the word dominating conversations everywhere: retirement. Headlines are amplifying it, and not without cause. Injuries of this magnitude inevitably force difficult questions about a fighter's future. While some claims are fueled by sensationalism, the real indicator is the extended, unavoidable layoff now ahead. A shattered jaw isn't something you shake off. It forces reflection on time, limits, and longevity. Paul spoke often about heart and disruption, but even relentless willpower has limits when the body can no longer absorb that level of punishment.
I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
Inside Paul's inner circle, the response has been predictably protective. Logan Paul stepped in as the loyal older brother, praising Jake's toughness and insisting his spirit remains unbroken. But boxing has never rewarded spirit alone. It rewards skill, experience, and resilience under fire. The influencer boxing wave, once seen as untouchable, finally met an opponent immune to hype. Critics argue this outcome was always inevitable when promotion collided with world-class knockout power. It was never a question of if reality would arrive, only when it would hit.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But, I mean, like, it seems written on the wall that that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews, back and forth on terms of how he thought about our conversation. I think Francis is a revolutionary when it comes to fight sports. He stood up against the UFC, showed what kind of man he is, and this process was just, again, a little bit confusing for me given who I know who he is as a human being.
Adding another layer of chaos to the aftermath was the reaction of the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury. Rather than acknowledging Joshua's dominance, Fury chose to stir the pot, mocking the win and claiming he would have finished Jake Paul even faster.
I am him, the man. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. 37-year-old at the end of his career, fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy B. And now he's talking about killing and all that to try and sell.
No.
Please, barking up the wrong tree, idiot. You're a classless loser coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you back out. You big bum, useless tosser.
It was classic heavyweight chess, but it revealed a strange truth. Jake Paul's loss may have accelerated the timeline for a Joshua-Fury showdown. Even in defeat, Paul remains a catalyst for seismic movement in the sport, though for now, he's watching it unfold from a hospital room.
Fury, listen, we'll see you in September.
Is it realistic, you think? I mean, it's been like 7 years, right?
Yeah, we'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it this year.
Makes sense.
The business of pain is a profitable one. Controversy equals commerce, and that equation hasn't changed. Despite the medical trauma, and the very real concern that Paul's chin may never be the same, rematch talk began before the blood was fully wiped from the canvas. There's a morbid curiosity in seeing how someone responds when their momentum is violently stripped away. Does Jake return humbled? Or does delusion take over once the painkillers fade? The machine wants a comeback story. The human body may have other plans.
Jake Paul didn't get in there to win last night, he got in there to survive. And he didn't do a better job of surviving. He sold the fight brilliantly, that's what he is, he's a salesman. And he's a YouTuber, influencer, call him whatever you want. So from that perspective, he did his job, but he never got in there to win. He just got in there to got beat up, and glad Anthony Joshua done a number on him. This is why boxers are boxers, YouTubers, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers, you know, they should stay in their lane and fight people that they're supposed to fight on their level. This guy was never on Anthony Joshua's level, and Joshua did what he needed to do, did what he had to do for the sake of boxing, and blow this guy up and just knock him out.
What about the fact that Jake was able to land on him clean a couple of times? What did you make of that?
Oh, listen, you can't get into the water without getting hit. Fortunately for Joshua, that guy can't break an egg. So he was never in any danger. You know, he's always going to get hit back. I mean, you know, it was 6 rounds. Anthony Joshua was always going to take at least 1 or 2 shots over that 6-round period, but it was nothing to hurt him, it was nothing to bother him. And like I say, this is all about getting AJ's confidence back. Okay. If Jake Paul fights, if he fights KSI or KFC or whatever his name is, then those two are evenly matched, aren't they? They're evenly matched, and then they could fight, you know, and then because they're evenly matched, they're both YouTubers, aren't they? They should get that on. I'd probably stay up and watch that.
Yeah, that's the most funniest gag you've ever dropped.
What we witnessed wasn't just a knockout, it was a legacy check. Anthony Joshua proved that there are levels in this sport that can't be skipped by marketing budgets or viral tweets. At the very top, the stakes are physical and permanent. On the other side, Jake Paul showed real courage by facing the elite, but may have paid a price that follows him for life. The question isn't whether he can fight again, it's whether he should.
What did I just watch? All right? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight. I was hoping that I could at least give Jake credibility and saying, you know what, he took this challenge. You know, even if it's for a lot of money, he still had the guts to walk to the ring and all this stuff. I was hoping, you know, you're going to get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. Guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds. Literally just run for. He was doing football jukes. You guys watched that fight? Ring was big. I made a freaking point about that ring being big, and he used it to his advantage in terms of survival in every way he could. I mean, this guy literally never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. Then notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like he just hugged Anthony Joshua, and then like would go down, and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break, and like he would just kill time that way. Then he was completely angling off. He's completely blading his shoulder off completely to the point where he's so bladed off that he can't even punch. He was just trying to make himself as small of a target as possible. Now Anthony Joshua, people are gonna say, oh, why didn't Anthony Joshua catch up to him? Because Anthony Joshua never had fast feet to begin with, and Anthony Joshua honestly should have probably cut off the ring a little bit better. That's my one critique of Joshua. He probably could have cut off the ring a little bit better. Joshua's always never really had the best feet, but in terms of cutting off the ring, could have at least done that. But honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 24 ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge. I can't believe what I just watched, guys. I'm seriously, like, dude, that's it. That's it. This was AJ's chance. Could have went out on his shield and his chance to say, yeah, get the respect of the boxing community. This was the one that could have got him the respect of the boxing community. This was the one. He came out with all this rap crap and doing the Hulkamania crap and all that other stuff and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, is he that calm, or is he literally just setting up his own demise? I don't know. AJ came out to the ring really serious, which would you expect? And then, I mean, he never fought. Jake never fought. Like, he never fought the whole fight.
As the dust settles, the contrast is haunting. On one side, a heavyweight star calling for his greatest rival, his stock higher than ever. On the other, a young man who tried to conquer the world now facing a liquid diet and a long, quiet look in the mirror. Ambition is powerful, but it can also be a trap. Was the payday and global spotlight worth a permanent change to his face? Some call it warrior spirit. Others call it a warning. Either way, the problem child has a problem he can't talk his way out of this time. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.